While Prevea Health cut ties with Aaron Rodgers on Saturday over his views on the COVID-19 vaccine, other companies linked to him haven't had much to say on the topic. Fox 11's Nick Harrington spoke with a UW Greenbay professor asking if this could be part of their crisis communication strategy.
They're probably weighing the odds and seeing how people are responding.
Phil Clampitt of UW Greenbay says some companies are playing the wait-and-see game when it comes to their partnerships with Aaron Rodgers. The Packers quarterback said he was immunized for COVID-19 in August before testing positive last week, leading to an appearance on the Pat McAfee Show last Friday and again for his weekly appearance on Tuesday.
To anybody who felt misled by those comments, I take full responsibility for those comments.
We've seen Prevea cut ties with him, citing their commitment to help community members through COVID-19 vaccinations. And State Farm came out and said while they don't agree with some of the statements made, the insurance company respects his own personal point of view.
Three-time MVP. I mean, you don't get very many of those around the world, so there's a lot of upside. And so, he's got a rough go here to figure out his own direction.
Clampitt adds while this is a challenge, he wouldn't consider it a PR nightmare.
This is a major concern, and it's very, very challenging. On 0 to 10, it's an 8 or a 9.
Apex Marketing is a Michigan-based analytics company. It found Rodgers was featured in just 1.5% of about 400 State Farm commercials. When compared with the 2 Sundays prior, the Packers quarterback was in more than 20% of all State Farm ads. Companies like TaylorMade and Adidas have arguably tougher decisions to make.
Usually you think in a crisis that the best thing to do is to respond quickly and get it over with and then move on with clarity. But in this particular case, it's a representation type of thing, so it's not quite the same.
Fox 11 reached out to State Farm, Bergstrom, Adidas, and TaylorMade for interviews, but did not hear back.
From rising prices to many products to shortages of new chips for vehicles, issues continue around the world and right here in Northeast Wisconsin. Joining us live via Skype to break down why this is happening and if things will get better is Associate Professor of Supply Chain Management at UWGB, Amulya Gurtu. Good morning, Professor. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Emily. Thanks for having me.
Let's start with why this is happening.
This is a cumulative effect of many things, not just one. We have been pushing globalization without looking at the bottlenecks, capacity constraints. It was kind of a disaster waiting to happen. COVID just tipped the
I was going to ask Ed, does COVID play, a role in it partly?
Definitely. I mean, it surfaced the problem much quicker, much faster, in a much broader way across the world. So yes, but COVID is not the only reason. I mean, it is partly to be blamed, but this would have happened otherwise also because of any other problem. Suppose it takes place like it took place last year in Suez Canal, or any kind of geopolitical disturbances in the countries from where we are importing, or a breakdown of a port or something. So there are many things which we have not taken into consideration when we pushed globalization.
Yeah,
but COVID kind of pushed it in that direction very quickly.
And Professor, you said pretty much all products are affected by this, and everyone, correct?
Almost every single product, like something which is grown very locally and consumed, like farmers market, etc., that may not have affected much, but the farmers, those who are growing, they got affected because the products they use to even grow, that supply chain got affected. So eventually, I mean, I would be surprised if there is even one person who would say, or one product, okay, I am not affected by this whole a major disruption in supply chains.
Has there been any progress with containers in ports? Any movement with that?
Yeah, they're trying to move it faster. I mean, there was some news that people are trying to help expedite it, but there is a limitation. One, because of COVID protocols. It limits what you can do, how many hours, the sanitization and those kind of things. Plus, even if we move from port, then the next step, logical step, is moving through either trains or semi-trucks. So semi-trucks, there are fixed numbers, and how many hours they can run, those are limited. And that is the kind of bottleneck right now.
World Relief Fox Valley is just one agency finding homes for Afghan families in Wisconsin.
There is nothing so gratifying to see them as they walk into a home and realize, I'm settled, I can start moving forward, start living my life, and that's just been a really great experience also, just to see that relief.
World Relief Fox Valley has already assisted in resettling 6 families total here in the Fox Valley area.
And a couple of larger families, one family of 3, one family of 4, so all varying in size.
Lutheran Social Services of Wisconsin and Upper Peninsula, Michigan is also working to resettle families. The group has resettled 2 families, totaling 9 people in the greater Milwaukee area. Both agencies are preparing to help settle 200 individuals. However, there is a push to move refugees from bases across the country to homes in Wisconsin.
Refugee resettlement is always a hurry up and wait. There's often a big push to do things quickly, and then it gets tempered the very next day. So we will resettle the cases that we've received requests to settle.
Both groups say they are in dire need to secure housing for refugee families.
If we have sufficient, adequate, and affordable housing, we can do anything.
And we're not asking for financial concessions, we're just asking for process concessions. Evacuees don't come with credit history, they don't come with employment history, and yet we're going to walk alongside them until they get good jobs and become self-sufficient.
Refugees are provided a stipend from the U.S. government to assist with resettling.